few days ago, Trump had this press conference with Benjamin Netanyahu, right? And they were talking about the future of the U.S. and Israel. And Trump said something really, really egregious.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it.
He said that he wanted to kick all of the Palestinians out of Gaza, send them to either Jordan or Egypt or something like that. While he did that, he would have people come in and rebuild Gaza.
I think the potential in the Gaza Strip is unbelievable. And I think the entire world, representatives from all over the world will be there, and I don't want to be cute, I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad, this could be so magnificent.
And I think it's obvious by the way he's talking about it. He's looking at Gaza as a real estate opportunity, and he wants to develop it into some kind of like big fancy resort hotel as basically, for like rich Israelis or Saudis or Americans, where the Palestinians can work there, I guess, is the idea. And this is obviously bad, right? This is obviously stupid. It's a stupid idea. Trump's a stupid and illogical person. We shouldn't take him at his word for anything.
We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal.
One thing that he said, though, during this press conference really caught my attention as being odd. He says,
Gaza is a hellhole right now. It was before the bombing started, frankly.
Even before the bombings. This really got me thinking about the way that rich people talk about places, especially cities. I've been learning Arabic for about 6 months or something like this. I started in June, I think. I took a class at like a local community college. I really liked it. I bought these books. I started talking to people on italki. أنا بحكي شوية عربي, it's fun. I enjoy it. And something you really got to know if you're ever in the business of like studying Arabic one day is that Arabic is not really one language. There's one official language called Fusha, which is the formal this is what they speak on Al Jazeera.
تظاهر ضد تصريحات الرئيس الأمريكي دونالد ترامب الداعية إلى إخلاء قطاع غزة من.
But so imagine you have this map of the Middle East and everyone here speaks Arabic. Kind of to the west, you have the Maghreb is just Arabic for Morocco. So this is kind of Moroccan Arabic. As far as I know, this is pretty intelligible with like Tunisian Arabic, but there's a line in the middle of Libya after which no one on the east really understands Maghrebi. This is kind of like a very, very different dialect than what they speak on the east. On the east, you have Masri, which is Egyptian. Masr is how you say Egypt in Arabic. Then you have Shami, which is a Levantine dialect, because after the Arab conquest of the Levant, they called it Asham. So there you go. So that's considered Shami Arabic. And then you have Khaliji Arabic, which is the Gulf Arabic. And of course, there's like Iraqi, this kind of Mesopotamian Arabic. And having studied this language for a little bit, I can tell you that the difference between Maghrebi and Shami Arabic is like the difference between like Spanish and Portuguese. Yes, like I see what you're going for. I don't know what you're saying. Or sometimes like it only works one way. That being said, I'm learning Shami Arabic. I'm learning Levantine Arabic. And so that is spoken in the 4 major countries of Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, and Palestine. All this to be said, one of the best things that you can do when you're learning a language is have a lot of comprehensible input, is what they call it, which is stuff that's like at your level or around or a little above your level. Someone talking to you. Do you want an apple? Yes, I want an apple. Would you like an apple with peanut butter? No, I don't like peanut butter. Like this kind of conversation is really vital. One of the best ways to do this is through YouTube, but finding content at your level can be very hard, especially as a beginner, where you're more advanced than the regular book dialogues and you want something more natural. One of the best YouTube channels is called Easy Languages. And they do a lot of these on-the-street style interviews with natives in that language. And they do, in fact, have one for Arabic. And this spun off into its own channel, Easy Arabic.
لو سمحتي.
أجل.
هل تتحدث الفصحى؟
أجل أنا أتحدث الفصحى.
الحمد لله. هل صح إنه لا حد يتحدث فصحى هنا؟
أجل للأسف.
كيف يمكنني أني أتعلم مصري؟
حسناً، سوف أقول لك. هناك قناة موجودة على اليوتيوب اسمها Easy Arabic.
But the reason I'm bringing this up is because Easy Arabic did in fact have a Levantine section for a little bit.
مرحبا، أنا بسان من إيزي أرابيك من فلسطين ومن غزة. شو بتحب تروح أماكن؟ وين الدول اللي بتحب تسافرها؟ رح نسأل الناس عن أكتر شخص بيحبوه. الأم. شو أكتر كتاب بتحبه أو بتفضله؟ هو شو مجال عملك وشو كان مجال دراستك؟
And so I'd actually seen a lot of like on the ground street interviews of what Gaza was like before, and what you notice is it's just like an incredibly average city. I don't know. It could be anywhere in the world. It's not particularly bad. It's not particularly awful or anything like this. It's just very much like a city. It's just kind of bizarre that someone would see something like this and think this is a shit show. Especially in comparison to the fact that Trump is the same person who wanted to build in 1985, like Trump City. I forgot to mention that that tower would also be the biggest tower in the world at the time, and he wanted to live at the top of it. Up on the west side of Manhattan, like this big place that was, let me just read it from the Politico article. It was on the 76 acres, he wanted to build like 8,000 apartments, 10,000 parking spots, 3.6 million square feet of TV and movie studio space, and 2 million square feet of prestigious stores. And I want you to think about living in Manhattan. What good does this do for anybody who lives there? The person who wanted to Dubaify New York City, when people think of visiting New York City and the things that they like about New York City, people think of, I don't know, grabbing a slice, like walking around the block. They think of like walking down the street and looking at the brownstone apartments. They do not think about going to a mall and a prestigious store and being able to easily park their car. And in the middle of it, he wanted a skyscraper, which is, for the most part, unless you have high occupancy, skyscrapers are incredibly like energy intensive to build and use. You have to pump everything up. There are no skyscrapers in Gaza because skyscrapers are largely useless and not good use of the land unless you need to build up. Okay, now let me indulge for like 1 minute to talk about New England politics. I swear it's relevant. One of the best things about living in the greater Boston area is, to be honest, the bike lanes. Because with the bike lanes, you can bike anywhere that you want to, and usually it's just as fast, if not faster, than driving. This is a great incentive to bike. It's one of the nice things about here. And because we have so much bike infrastructure, you don't have nearly as many of these large arterial roads where you feel like you're just going to get hit and die. When I lived in San Diego, biking everywhere was basically a death sentence. Here, biking everywhere is basically the obvious option. And a lot of that can be attributed to our current mayor, Mayor Wu. Mayor Wu was born on the south side of Chicago to Taiwanese immigrant parents. She was valedictorian. She received perfect scores on her SAT and ACT. And so she ended up in Boston, as you would expect, going to Harvard, both for her undergrad and then for her JD.
You got into Harvard Law?
What, like it's hard?
While she was at Harvard, she started working on the Warren campaign in 2012, and then she got involved in city council. She had been on city council for a very long time, from 2014 to about 2021, when she then became mayor. She has over a decade of experience in this city specifically. The first time I ever saw Mayor Wu when I first moved here was because my TikTok algorithm upgraded to, pull my location. And it was showing me videos of Mayor Wu getting on transit with people and taking their commutes to work to understand, like, on the ground, what problems people are having.
Good morning. It is 7:45 in Alston, and we are here to commute with Molly to Brigham and Women's Hospital.
Hi, good morning. We're gonna take the 66 bus.
How does it usually go?
It depends. I would say it's hit or miss. Can be up to 45 minutes to go, like 2 miles. So.
Okay, we better get started then.
This morning, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu announced new improvements and plans for the city's bike network and street safety. Now, the mayor says this is all about making Boston more accessible, connected, and easy to explore.
As part of that mission, we are adding 9.4 miles of bike lanes by next year to mend key gaps and expand our network. And we've set a goal to ensure that 50% of all residents in Boston will be just a 3-minute walk away from a safe, connected bike route within the next 3 years.
She also made it a lot easier for us to build affordable housing. She started a free ride bus route program for communities that don't reach the T, which is the MBTA, which is the subway metro. She has advocated for paid family leave. She's helped transition the homeless at a famous Mass and Cass section of town. And she lives in the working class neighborhood of Roxbury, which is cool, especially because she could have been some big corporate lawyer. You know, she went to Harvard Law.
What, like it's hard?
In her re-election, it seems that she will be facing competition. A few days ago, a new competitor for the mayoral race stepped in, and that is Josh Kraft. Josh Kraft is... How do I describe this man? He's the son of the owner of the New England Patriots. His family is worth $12 billion, and he moved to Boston last year when, New England Patriots LLC bought him some really fancy apartment in the nicest part of town. Notably, his family is friends with Donald Trump. They paid like $1 million for Trump's first inauguration. They maintained close contact along with, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. He suddenly decided he wants to run for mayor after doing nonprofit work and finding he had a knack for pulling in big donations. Imagine that. And so he spins this into thinking that he has some kind of talent. His dad gave him $4 million just for this Boys and Girls Club, like in Chelsea, I think. He's running as a Democrat, allegedly, and he wants to increase housing. Don't we all? And
meanwhile, our neighborhood streets have become jammed up by poorly conceived, hastily installed bus and bike lanes that all too often have increased congestion and eliminated parking. As a result, moving around has become a burden for families.
Is halting the construction of bike lanes. And why am I even talking about? What am I trying to draw a through line here? With Trump and like Jared Kushner especially wanting to Dubai-ify Gaza, and we have this rich Patriots guy who wants to pull back on a lot of the urbanism that we see in Boston. I mean, it's a trend that I feel like I see a lot. But there's just this way that wealthy people view places. They've never had to use a lot of the services that people specifically move to a city to get, which is like they enjoy cities, but not necessarily for the same reason regular people enjoy cities. Regular people enjoy cities because it has, 1, access to a lot of work, 2, normally easier transit to get around. We're not driving for 5 hours on a country road. There's also a lot of diversity in the cuisine and the culture that we're seeing. And honestly, you develop this sense of community from having to live side by side with people who are all kind of struggling in the same way you are. But these people don't get any of that from living in cities. I don't even know if they enjoy cities. I mean, all of these people were born in the backseat of a limo and they clink their champagne glasses while people deliver food to them. Like the first time rich people meet a Latino person is, when they're contracting them to mow their lawn or something. To them, there is no point in being in a city. And that's why I think they always want to rebuild cities to be solipsistic. You know what I mean? They always have such bad urbanist ideas because they have no need for urbanism. They want to build cities so they resemble the way that they view places as things that are made to cater to them and them alone. Or to quote that Politico article again, For Wiseman, the issue wasn't so much the brooding row of buildings, it was that the development had an island upon an island, aggressive in its separation from the city in which it stood. Trump didn't disagree. I don't want to cater to the community immediately surrounding Television City, he told the Miami Herald. I want to build my own thing. Anyway, this was just a short video I just had. I saw that. I saw the notification for Trump saying that, and then I saw the notification that a fucking multi-billionaire suddenly wants to become the mayor. Okay, and I look at his plan and it's like, yeah, okay, you're just like every other rich asshole who wants to redesign a city to be worse. Like, they want skyscrapers, they want cool things that look nice, they don't want anything that people actually come to cities for, you know what I mean? Anyway, I was just making this video. I'm in the middle of editing another video, and that's why but this just, I saw this and I was like, I want to say something about it. I don't know.